response to the more public-private dichotomy, but they don't solve this with their affirmative. Furthermore, he says that you can't get away with some sort of subnorms of institutional violence, but our argument on the Higgins is that the public-private dichotomy is ultimately important to have this private, this private realm is uniquely important. Furthermore, that the legislature is always going to be important, which means that even if that institutional violence can happen, it's better solved in a different realm. Furthermore, you can pull across our Blue 99 evidence. This is never obviously responded to. It says that the civil rights remedy normalizes this violence threat, which means that when you reinstitute it, only causes cyclic cycle of violence onto the environment. On their legal evidence, one mere advocation subset alternative here, like individual solutions argument is a solvent state on the first legal evidence theory is not prescriptive of stuff like the ESA or the representations it applies to. This ultimately means that any progress that it possibly hoped for in the ESA would be co-opted by the corporate and governmental policy. It would not check these agencies as they claim that there is also. It means that when these representations are attached to the government, it demobilizes and displaces individual agencies such as the impetus to act as short-circuited force. This also doesn't deal with the ultimate conclusion of the card, which is the imposition of state surveillance and biopower, the regulatory power of the private state by social expression, the wholesale slaughter visited upon entire populations, revealing the dark and unrolling power of wars, genocide, and nuclear threats. Code 78. There has been a parallel shift from the right to the early 70s to the life itself related to the life administrative acts for mental power of death, and since the God of God's power that this process promotes and compromise for relations, pain, and life for all bodies, there is so many reasons to be able to wake so many wars, having so many things of the atomic situation that put at the end point of the process, the other side of power to security and individuals can introduce in genocide indeed is indeed the dream of power security extended in the level of large-scale phenomena, and additionally, second that legal evidence doesn't indict the fact that our impact is ultimately about biopower. For instance, this isn't indict about some duty of Hollander who says that everyone should recycle to save the environment, but our loop cards would indict this to the ecological imperative to define and protect normal vision of nature's justification for mass surveillance of the life of biological control. No longer nature being an ecosystem transforming our one end of the world to truly reduce the species and environment, refining ecological knowledge is dedicated to the original management of its assets, the whole ecosystems, socially disciplinary, green operational planning, other levels, confidence, sustainability, like sexuality, which become another expert discourse on existing power over how the development might invest life through there because the sustainability, how sustainability more or less pursues some level of material cultural existence been attained in the world, like with sustained formation constitutes self-affirmation, one class rather than enslavement of another, so means social control and political subjugation, which is an additional link into our Foucault evidence. And additionally, he doesn't address the words of our code evidence. Our specific link is their circular evidence. The tag ID specific habitats must be kept pristine, which creates a high physical indice. When you identify these types of wilderness environments, it allows for you to discard all the other not quite as pristine, not quite as valuable environments, which ultimately will turn back their environmental impact by the sacrifice of habitats that aren't on the right side of this dichotomy. On there, you can group their apocalypse parts. On the apocalypse, they misunderstand their Lifton evidence, not talking about what Lifton is talking about is not the end of a tag that says and that leads to extinction. He's talking about actually formulating some sort of vision of what that extinction would mean, some sort of imagery that would imply all of the weight that is so important, that is what makes this type of apocalypse so important. Their tags do not fulfill the burden of their Lifton evidence off of their Durowatsa 2004 evidence. This is a discourse we unite the apocalyptic pronounces of the negative should be understood as events in a form of discourse that legitimizes the politics of the right. This is Berger 96. From which the apocalypse science for the theory of the narrative providing these universal arts on the part of finite human beings from the middle of this universal catastrophe over we can see no apocalypse to discourse the apocalypse impulses to take on the politics of the right, the whole for goes to the edge with the evil fire comes perceptual contradictions. And furthermore, before we can even attempt the astropolitical subjects, we must first address the ethical imperative of the politics of representation. This is Study 96. Before the center stopped its own functioning, the network says substitution come in place that I am from the creation, hold no problem, no possibility, sharing, following sites, meanings, and political resistance is related. This is inherently incomplete with nature, discourse, reformation, ongoing, complete power of the construction, meaning the construction, social, political, and powerful, those who toil, construction is already meaning, working procedures, and how they attention must begin the politics, representation, the fact of the international lifestyle, so face intentional issue, representation, perpetuating the dominant modes of making meaning, and furthermore, he doesn't address any of my internal takeouts. The first one was this stop intimates that perhaps because of the Commerce Clause interpretation of war that the Supreme Court ruled is not taking any stance to strike down ESA, which means that the status quo is solving. Furthermore, that by taking action that it would only disrupt the status quo. Furthermore, the only warrant to the UCS evidence is that the ESA is critical, it's not definitive. It says, quote, the ESA gives new hope, but how much hope is necessary to prevent extinction? You have to take away a large part of their impact on this. Furthermore, on their circularity doesn't identify which habitats are important. Also, this is a link into our representations critique. It also doesn't make the jump to the Diner 94 evidence that these type of habitats would lead to complete ecological destructions, which means, and it also doesn't give you any for a human extinction, which means they have some sort of infinite time frame on their impact. Also, their token evidence doesn't say that the ESA is essential, is the key U.S. environmental policy that would be modeled, which means they can't get anything off that on poverty. On the poverty advantage, he says that this is a nice history, but he drops the part at the bottom of this. This is a key element of social intervention and control, which you can perhaps apply our Foucault evidence to. Furthermore, you have to pull their Rebecca card after around it. Says it does not make the link that they're trying to make from this the act that they're discussing and poverty in general. There are a million other sources of poverty. Furthermore, this wouldn't necessarily be modeled worldwide, which means this question will always be the focus. You can't give them any weight on this impact. This act alone isn't enough to solve for the entirety of the labor force or for children being able to get into college. Furthermore, think about the time frame to all of these children beginning child support, now going to college. This is ridiculous. They're not going to be able to gain any weight off of this. Furthermore, this calculation, furthermore, the poverty is the focus of way to turn perceived problem into an asset by using it as a tool of social control. This is Escobar 95. Older settles and knowledge in the system to test governments to make poverty useful by fixing for apparatus, protection, and planning sought to deploy the complete utilitarian functional conception of poverty, emerging administratively the questions of labor and production.
712.